Our next speaker is here representing the President of the United States. We in public television have been quite fortunate that the Obama administration has been so steadfast in its support of our work, even when the going got tough. When our federal funding was challenged by the president's opponent in the 2012 election campaign, the president made it clear that he was on our side, and he has been true to his word. The president believes deeply in the power of education to transform lives and to dramatically enhance the quality of life in our country, and so do we. Because education is our birthright in public television, we need to be thinking more ambitiously and entrepreneurially about how we can do more in this field, especially with the advent of new technologies that will enable us to bring America's largest classroom anywhere and everywhere. Our next speaker is someone who can help us do just that. Roberto Rodriguez is the Deputy Assistant to the President for Education and a member of the White House Domestic Policy Council. In that role, he coordinates the administration's education policy initiatives from early learning through college and career training, a portfolio that matches public television's commitment to lifelong learning. We are deeply appreciative of Roberto's support of our work in education. His perspective on how we can do more and do it better will be quite valuable to everyone in this room. With a heartfelt thanks for everything he and his boss have done for public television, it's my honor now to introduce the Deputy Assistant to the President of the United States, the Honorable Roberto Rodriguez. Thank you, sir. It's great to have you.
Well, thank you so much. Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here. I want to begin by thanking Pat and his outstanding leadership here at APTS for making sure that our Washington, D.C. community fully appreciates and understands the importance of public television in our lives and the important role it plays in advancing public policy. I am really honored to join you to share the stage with Marty. What a wonderful conversation that was. I still enjoy my Washington Post, especially my Sunday Post delivered to my doorstep every weekend. But, as you take stock of opportunities and challenges as a community of public television and public media, I'm really pleased to be here to reaffirm our administration's support of public television and certainly to explore a bit the role of public media in education, which really has gone hand in hand for decades now. I first had the opportunity of really appreciating that working for the late Senator Ted Kennedy and getting to know some of the work of WGBH. We might have some WGBH folks here in the room, I'm not sure. All right. And the wonderful, outstanding education programming that they put together from early childhood all the way through to support our students with disabilities. But I think Pat put it so well in terms of his remarks in capturing and appreciating the original mission of public television as true lifelong learning for our communities and for our citizens across their continuum of life. And so certainly first is this mission and the work that your stations do to engage our communities, to enlighten our communities, to build awareness, to disseminate information around all of the important issues of our day, and to make sure that our leaders and our community members have that information to really strengthen and support democratic and civic participation and exchange. And that is important for the whole range of issues that our communities grapple with every day, from foreign policy to the range of domestic issues, healthcare, energy, the environment, certainly is important in the conversations we're having about the upcoming presidential debates and elections as well. And so we applaud that educational mission at the heart of our stations around the country. But we also applaud the contribution that public television makes to the broader endeavor, directly to the broader endeavor of public education. As a real partner and as an engine of innovation in that space. And I think, you can look at this rich history, whether that's, the advent of an opportunity to disseminate a show like Sesame Street around the country and really reach our young parents and our early learners, whether that's looking at the important more recent work around a project like American Graduate Initiative and helping to really contribute to all hands on deck call around the dropout crisis across our country. For decades, public television has really been a true partner in public education and in really doing more to disseminate and to support innovation in that sector. And so I really want to reflect a bit this afternoon on where we are as an education sector and as in the broader state of public education, the work that we concern ourselves with on behalf of the President at the White House from cradle through career, but also to really think about what the moments and opportunities are for continued engagement of public media and public television in that work. And we're at a real pivotal moment of change today. As you know, the last 7 years of our administration has been in education and work to advance a vision to improve opportunities and outcomes for education across the continuum. And alongside early priorities that the President put forth in his first term on health care and the environment and energy, he has really viewed education as his opportunity agenda, with an imperative that a young person's background, language he or she speaks, cultural background, ethnicity, and also, very importantly, zip code in which he or she grows up should never predetermine opportunity for advancement. And today, in today's innovation economy and innovation age, education is the most important lever that we can pull to really help all of our young people get ahead. And the stakes are high. They're certainly higher than they were when I was growing up and I think generations ago. So, we have dedicated ourselves as an administration to raising expectations for teaching and learning across our educational system, particularly focused on the K-12 work in our elementary, middle, and high schools, in investing in supporting great teachers at the helm of those classrooms. We know what a difference a great teacher can make to the learning, advancement, and success of our students, and by spurring more of a use of data to drive innovation in our schools and in our classrooms, and to inform what works and identify what works and scale what works, as well as to let us know what could work better and where we need greater improvement for success. So nothing is really more important than giving everyone the best education possible from the day they start preschool to the day they start their career, and that's certainly something the President has believed deeply in. And so we're at a moment now in our country where we've seen tremendous change across our education sector. We've seen nearly every state now embrace higher expectations around college and career readiness. We have a high school graduation rate that today is the highest on record. We've cut our dropout rate by nearly 1/3 as a country over about the past 15 years. We've seen the Latino dropout rate for African American students cut nearly in half. The number of high schools that are where 40% or more of students fail to graduate on time. These have often been called and labeled dropout factories across our country. That has been cut in half over the past several years, from over 2,000 schools to just over 1,000 high schools around our country. We have seen more than 30 states deepen investments just over the last 2 years in public preschool and high-quality early education. We have 1 million more young people of color enrolled in college and seeking higher education than we did at the beginning of our administration. So there are signs of tremendous progress underway. We're looking at how we can do more to bring technology into our classrooms. The president's initiative around Connect Ed seeks to bring high-speed broadband to 99% of America's classrooms. And with the partnership of the FCC and the wonderful work of our educators around the country, we're beginning to make measurable progress and have even cut the digital divide in half in our classrooms just over the last few years. We are embarking on a new call to think about how we can bring opportunities like computer science education to each and every one of our learners, really beginning at kindergarten with a strong progression of teaching and learning all the way through opportunities to learn computer science in high school, because we know what an important subject that is to drive an IT economy and to drive our greater prosperity as a country moving forward. We're doing more to think about how we usher in new designs around teaching and learning, particularly for our high schools, where we know that the stakes around engaging our young people in real-world opportunities to apply deep content in reading and math and science to real-world problems, and to hone in on those problem-solving, critical thinking, collaboration, and other important essential skills are so needed for their development and their success once they graduate. But I think here, technology has also been a huge driver of change in our education system. And with the advent of technology in our schools and our classrooms, really enables us to hone in on a new goal of personalizing the education experience and personalizing the learning experience for our students across the system. Reaching them, whether that's in their classroom or outside of their classroom, and connecting them to opportunities to really apply their learning in meaningful ways. Thinking about how we can do more to unleash digital content that will connect learners to their peers across the country or across the globe on a particular lesson or a particular competency. And so I think the key question here is we look forward and build on the set of reforms that have taken shape over the past 7 years. A key question is, how will public media and public television play a role in continuing to be an innovator and in driving change with this advent of technology, both in our schools, in doing a better job of connecting our teachers to one another, to share lessons, to share what works and what could work better, in reigniting a vision of what the future of teaching and learning can look like in our schools, which is going to look dramatically different than a standardized approach to teaching and learning that we have seen in the past. And really ushering in a new national focus on redesigning the educational experience for our learners across our elementary, middle, and high schools. I truly believe public media can play an important role in helping guide that conversation forward into the future. We're also focused on doing more to make sure that, because we know from the science what a difference high-quality early education makes and high-quality learning experiences make in the lives, in the early development and later success for our students. This is why we've focused so much attention on behind the President's Preschool for All proposal to bring high-quality preschool to each and every 4-year-old across the country, behind the work to strengthen and improve and expand our important programs like Head Start and Child Care, and maximize those programs as important early learning programs that will help contribute to the goal of reducing this school readiness gap that we see of 60 points between our low-income children and their more affluent peers at the point at which they enter kindergarten. we know that with the right investments and the right supports, we can create an environment, a rich environment of early learning and development where each and every one of our young people can reach their full potential and enter kindergarten ready for success. And the brain development and the science that we have today around the brain is as important as it's ever been to this body of work. So here we have no better model than a model like Ready to Learn and its 20-year track record of success to help shine the way forward and think about how can public media and public television contribute to a national effort to support high-quality early learning in the lives of each and every one of our children. And how can we do more to make sure that those children, regardless of background, and regardless of privilege, and regardless of the community or neighborhood in which he or she grows up, even if they don't have access to high-quality preschool, how can our national effort around public media engage with those learners and their families in a meaningful way to build a rich social and emotional environment for those children, to build a rich early literacy and early math opportunity for those children, to make sure that they have opportunities to deepen executive function and higher cognitive skills that we know are the building blocks for their later success as they enter school. And so we have an opportunity, particularly with the recent passage of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act and the renewal of that piece of legislation from Congress on a bipartisan basis, to codify this work toward college and career readiness for all students, but also to do more to deepen access to high-quality preschool and early learning. And we hope that our public media partners can be important partners in that effort. As we look forward to the future of what our education system looks like, we cannot afford not to do this work without all of you. We need the robust, not just participation, but true partnership from public media and from our public television stations around the country to build the political and marshal the community, build the political will and marshal the community engagement around the important effort of public education. We need your ideas and your solutions and your strategies and your platforms to connect one another, to connect our students, to connect our learners, and to connect our community members and our community leaders, all in the service of building a strong educational foundation and a brighter future for our young people. So the president reminds us that in these last 10 months that we have in this final year, that we cannot afford 1 minute that might go to waste. We have to maximize our time to do more to make sure that we are delivering on this promise of college and career readiness for each and every one of our learners. And I want to thank you in advance for all the work that you'll do to help us get there, and for the work that you'll continue to lead and push forward in your respective communities toward a brighter educational future for our students. Thank you all so much. Yes, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Roberto has time for a question or two. Who has a question? Bert Schmidt. Wait for a mic so we can get this recorded, please. Right here.
It's coming to you. Use your teacher voice.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
My name is Bert Schmidt. I'm the president and CEO of WHRO in Norfolk, Virginia. I think you will hear, if you walk throughout the crowd, many, many stories about how passionate we are about partnering with public education. We feel a kinship, public media and public education. At my station, for example, we are actually owned by a collaboration of 19 public school divisions. They literally own the station. Okay. And we provide a whole host of services throughout Virginia. We provide online high school courses, 23 courses being used throughout the Commonwealth. We have a localized version of learning media called eMedia Virginia. 155,000 educators using this digital resource to do personalized publishing, personalized learning within the classroom. We operate the state's Virtual Virginia Advanced Placement and World Language Program. We have a whole host of pre-K services, and we have over 4,000 workforce development courses that we offer online. You will hear stories like that from everybody in this room. So I'm thrilled that you are looking to us as a partner. I do hope the conversations continue, that we can have some real concrete conversations about where education is going in the next few years and what specifically public media can do to help be one of those key partners.
Thank you. Thank you for the comment. You know, the partnerships, they come, in some places they are more ready built than in others. And partnerships are always a challenge. And, you know, I will acknowledge, I think in many of our communities, too many of our public school districts are not well equipped to develop deep partnerships that actually maximize what each partner can offer toward the endeavor of learning and engagement for our kids. So that's our big challenge. We have to do a better job of identifying community to community. Where's the added value there? How can we make that work? I believe truly, you know, public media has an opportunity and a role that we have to deliver upon, particularly for our parents and our families, in helping to enrich their contribution to their children's learning. And we can't get that done. Our schools cannot get that done alone. You know, thank you for all that you're already doing to support that work. And we, you know, the more we can lift up those opportunities and those lessons for other communities, the better.
Okay,
We have one over here, excuse me.
Thank you again for being here. You touched on computer science and mentioned, you know, starting in the early years all the way matriculating through high school. That's an area in our state we're very interested in, and I wondered if you could share a model or a role that we could play.
And where are you from?
Kentucky.
All right, great. You have an outstanding education system there too, and great strides. So you know, we've looked around the country, and you know, I'm pleased. Even just yesterday, we have now governors from both Republican and Democratic states, Governor Inslee, Governor Hutchison, others that are stepping forward and affirming just across the city here as the NGA gathers over at the Marriott, affirming the importance of computer science to the education and success of our students. And I think this is one area where in the past this has been thought of as solely focused on pretty specialized area around math and science. And what we're seeking to do is to really build and promote these fundamental principles that the National Science Foundation has developed and advanced around computer science for all of our learners, which is not just coding and computer programming, but computational thinking and problem solving and using data and analytical data to really drive decision making. These are skills that, you know, regardless of the fields in which our young people are going to graduate and enter in, they're fields that are tremendously important. And then there's just the reality that we are underdeveloped still as a system in being able to have well-prepared teachers and course offerings for computer science. So there's a mismatch between that and the fact that at a number of our institutions, and we'll take Harvard for instance, computer science is the top enrolled freshman course on campus. So, you know, we have to do more to provide those opportunities, and what we're focused on in the president's budget is a new proposal that would drive dollars through a federal-state partnership across all states to develop a plan to build a progression for computer science K through 8 and to support computer science in each and every one of our high schools. And we have a wonderful set of partners already underway through the National Science Foundation, the Corporation for Community and National Service, and a set of other public, private, and philanthropic partners that, with their existing resources, are moving forward today on this challenge. But we want Congress to consider that proposal fully. We've also proposed a parallel program at the Department of Education in the President's budget for our school districts to really help identify and partner directly with our superintendents in supporting that cause. And we'd love public media's partnership on that effort.
Great. Over here.
Hi, I'm Sasha Schechter here with Friends of 13 from WNET in New York City. And as we're nearing the end of the administration and looking back on all of the hurdles and everything you have accomplished, I'm wondering what the administration's proudest education accomplishment is, in your opinion.
So thank you, Sasha. I'm getting this question a lot lately as we're in our final year. And it's hard to identify one accomplishment, to be honest. I do think the support of college and career readiness is a new national goal, and the adoption of standards that truly affect college and career readiness across all of our schools is an important accomplishment. Right? And we're at about 49 states now that have either redesigned their existing standards or chosen to participate in an effort like the Common Core that supports these college and career ready expectations, which is such a sea change from where we were 7 years ago, where you had 2 states that will go unnamed across the country that set their standards for 8th grade learning at 72 points between one another, which is essentially over 2 grades worth of learning and expectation for students. So in a global economy, we can't afford to prepare our students to such disparate levels of academic performance. It's a disservice to their ability to compete and win in the future. So we're really proud of that effort, and I would say at marshaling a new federal-state partnership where states and districts and communities can own that work moving forward. And then I would say, the work around developing and supporting preschool for each and every child. This is important work the president has set forth. He's talked about it. He's convened folks. We've had over $1 billion committed in federal and state and local efforts on this charge, and we're going to try to keep that moving forward. So that's one that we're proud to have started, and we'll want to look forward to continuing beyond our administration.
I see Becky Magura back there from Cookeville, Tennessee.
Thank you so much. I wanted to thank you for the President's budget, including Ready to Learn both last year and this year. Thank you so much. I hope you'll tell him that.
I will.
How much
I will.
we all appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I also just want to ask, because Cookeville, Tennessee is a rural area, and we are an RTL station, and we're one of those, and so I'm very grateful to hear that you said zip code. We're going to make sure kids in certain zip codes have those opportunities, because
Yes.
our area is one of those. So how do you see Ready to Learn really fitting in not only with the President's preschool initiatives, but also preparing teachers and child care providers and public media being a partner with you on that?
Yeah. Well, so we appreciate the comment. We are, I think we have a rich history of Ready to Learn's engagement and involvement and support for public education that and for early learning that is so important. So we're hoping we can build on it. We're really proud to have the foundation, even behind the president's budget, of the congressional reauthorization of ESEA that reaffirms Ready to Learn and its important charge. And that is in, we just need to take a moment and appreciate the work of the leadership here to make that happen, to build the bipartisan coalition on the Hill to make that moment happen. That's very important. I think moving forward, we are really excited about the innovation that we can drive in the space of preschool. There's one thing that we know from the literature, the decades of evidence around early learning and the studies of public preschool, which is that quality and the depth and richness of the learning experience in the environment for our youngest learners, it makes all the difference. And so we have we're seeing surges of preschool participation around the country, which is exciting. We have over 40 states now that have state-funded preschool program. We were nowhere near that even a decade ago. But we know that the quality matters greatly. So I think we need to do a better job of driving that focus on quality and focus on the parents' role in the education and development of their kids. which we know makes such a difference. And I would hope that Ready to Learn could help be a conduit to that quality, to fostering and pushing that conversation around how do we get better in materials into the hands of our early educators? How do we get better resources into the hands of our parents, of our youngest learners? How does Ready to Learn serve to grow a community of high quality teaching and learning that our educators can draw upon to strengthen the quality of their programs?
All right, anyone else? Okay, Roberto Rodriguez, thank you
Pat.
so much.
Thank you so much.